Welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, Tiff here, and welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. Yes, here we are at the end of another week. We're going to be looking at lessons learned for this week. And you know what? I'm going to talk about lockdown again. I know that I spoke about it in a previous episode about how to manage your mindset through lockdown. I'm just finding that this is really important for us because we don't want to lose the sight of our path. And I don't want you to lose the sight of your path. And I know that it can be frustrating right now. I know that it can be depressing. I know that it can be aggravating. I know that it can feel restrictive. I get it 100%. And it's like we're a caged lion. And, you know, like a caged lion in the zoo, after they've been in the cage for a while, what happens to them? They get lethargic. They get slow, they get tired, they're not motivated at all, they're sleepy, they're bored, they're not challenged in any way, they've lost their freedom. They've lost their freedom to be king of the jungle. And this is what's happening to us. We're going through the same, exactly the same thing. We've been locked down for a period of time. What happens is we start to get lethargic. We start to think, oh, I don't want to put that effort in anymore. I just can't be bothered. We slow down. We get sluggish. We're always tired and we're bored. And I shared with you in the previous episode, I was starting to get bored, but not losing motivation. But with this happens, we lose motivation. We lose drive, we lose discipline, we lose self-discipline, we lose structure, and we lose our freedom, right? Our freedom to be able to move around. But the thing that I want you to understand is that we don't have to let COVID-19 stop us because we're restricted, because you can be bothered, because you can regain your energy, because you can get motivated, because you can regain your drive, because you can regain your discipline, because you can regain your structure, and because you can regain your freedom. And how do you do that? You don't lose sight of your path. So over this weekend, I'm going to ask you to do something. But before I get you to do that, I just want you to understand this. I was talking to a friend of mine who's on track to become playing the majors for baseball. That's his dream. And we talk each week. And it was interesting because he was talking about how focused he is on his vision and how far he's come in the last 2 months. Him and I have been talking each week for the last 2 months, and how far he's come in the last 2 months, how much he's been working on his mindset in the last 2 months, how much he's recovering from an injury. And he was telling me about how his mates that he goes to college with, or friends that he's surrounded by, all they're doing is they've got into that mode of being lethargic, slowing down, being sluggish, not having any drive, no discipline, no structure, too much effort, they just can't be bothered. And they've allowed the situation of COVID-19 to hold them back. And they've succumbed to it. So they're just watching TV. They're eating all the wrong foods. They're just playing lots of computer games on Xbox. So what's happened to them? They've lost sight of their path because they most likely weren't clear anyway. But I know that that's not you. And what we want to do over this weekend, I want you to do these things. I want you to regain your momentum on your big dream. So I want you to write out what your big dream is. So that's the first thing that I want you to do. And I want you to write out, my big dream is, whatever it is. My big dream is to become a world-class baseballer. My big dream is to play for the New York Yankees. My big dream is to be number one in kickboxing in the world, to be the world champion. My big dream is to win the gold medal for the 100-meter freestyle at the Olympics for swimming. My big dream is to play for my country, for my cricket. My big dream is to play for my country for soccer. My big dream is. What is your big dream? So that's the first thing that I want you to do. The second thing that I want you to do, number 2, is I want you to write down all the action steps on how you're going to get closer to your big dream this quarter. So you've just said, Tiff, my big dream is, you've been shouting it to me, but the next step is, how are you going to get closer to your big dream this quarter? I want you to be focusing on that. I want you to write down all the action steps on how you're going to make that happen. Number 3, how and when are you going to implement those action steps? So you've identified your big dream, you've regained your momentum, you've shared with the world, my big dream is, you've shared with the universe, my big dream is. You've written down all the action steps that are going to get you closer over this next quarter to accomplishing your big dream. But now what you need to do is you need to know how and when you're going to implement those action steps. What weeks are you going to implement those action steps in? What days are you going to implement those action steps in? Because more than ever than before, it's so important for you to regain your momentum. It's so important for you to regain your vision. You need it now. Not tomorrow, not next week. You need it now. So again, what are you going to do? Number 1, my big dream is. Number 2, how are you going to get closer to your big dream this quarter? What are all the action steps that you need to actually do? Number 3, how and when are you going to implement those action steps? What weeks, what days are you going to make that happen? And I'm going to repeat myself. It's important for you more now than ever to regain your momentum. It's important more now than ever to regain your vision. You know why you're here on this earth. You are here on this earth to be the best that you can be and do what you want to do. So let's go. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode on lessons learned. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. If you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, I'd love it if you could share these episodes with your friends, because we want to build the successful athlete community as big as we possibly can. So I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Take care. Talk soon. Don't go anywhere. Just hang on. Don't go anywhere. Let's crush it when we compete. Come on. Have you signed up yet for the Successful Athlete Masterclass? We look at what's holding you back, what skills you will need to succeed, and how to accomplish your sports goals. Go to tiffanymica.com/Sam. Look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Let's crush it when you compete.